Kia ora, and welcome to Friday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect New Zealand. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz. And today we lead with news. Ship traffic in the Strait of Hormuz is now at a complete standstill, but oil prices have eased slightly all the same. So, Wall Street rose into new record highs. In the US, there are 187,000 initial jobless claims last week, a slightly larger increase than seasonal factors can account for. There are now just over 1.8 million people on these benefits, a fall from last week, as the very much tighter qualification requirements keep people off these unemployment programs. US producer prices came in slightly lower than expected for July, up 4.7% from a year ago, down from a 5.5% rise in June, and lower than the 4.9% expected. A notable fall in July fuel costs offset other rises in the month. And there was a well-supported US Treasury 30-year bond auction early today, but investors wanted and got high yields. They came in at a median of 5.16% and a high of 5.22%, which is a 25-year high and something of a warning to the US administration. Meanwhile, Cleveland Fed President Hammack restated her view that the US Central Bank should raise rates immediately to bring down too high inflation and restrain business growth and investment. She is a current FOMC voting member. She said she lacks confidence the current do-nothing policy will get inflation back to its target. Meanwhile, the Richmond Fed boss Barkin says he is happy to wait, but Barkin is not a current FOMC voting member. In Japan, their central bank wants to raise its 1% policy rate from here, and reports indicate that it has government backing for the move now. It could come at the next review in mid-September. Markets have priced in a 75% chance. And Japanese producer prices have been rising fast recently and were up 7.2% in July from a year ago. But there was essentially no rise in July from June, so they're starting to see some heat dissipate there. And India reported strong exports, its third highest monthly total ever in July, up 19% from the same month in 2025. But they also reported record high imports, driven by fuel imports. In the EU, Euro area industrial production rose in June very slightly when a fall was expected. In the wider EU region, the gain was even better. Production of consumer goods led the way with strong June results. Gains in Denmark, Poland and Finland were notable. Germany and France dipped, however. In Australia, regulators there are warning that online brokers are targeting retail investors with complex or high-risk products without clearly disclosing their risks or conducting proper onboarding, leaving those who respond exposed to risky products that could see them lose their investment within hours. And new semi-annual pay data out yesterday in Australia revealed a softening trend in the private sector. Overall average weekly ordinary time earnings for full-time adults were $2,084 a week in May, up just 1.6% overall in the period, up 3.7% for the year. These are the slowest increases since 2022. Rises in public sector pay are running at nearly twice the pace of the private sector. Recall CPI inflation there was at 3.8% in the year to June, so no real gains. Global container freight rates were up a mere 1% last week from the prior week, but are at 85% higher than year-ago levels. That weekly data masked sharply higher rates to the US from China, offset by lower rates from China to the EU. Bulk cargo rates fell 4.2% in the past week from a cycle high and are now 45% higher than year-ago levels. And the US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 4.63%, down 5 basis points from yesterday. And the price of gold is falling, now at $4,357 an ounce, down $60 from yesterday. Silver's fallen almost $1 to $64.50 an ounce. And oil prices are down $1 from yesterday at just under $82 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is now just under $88 a barrel. Hormuz transits have virtually vanished. There's been no crude tankers and only one cargo ship exiting over the past 24 hours and just 2 entering for new loads, again all Iran-linked. The Red Sea activity is now less than 10 exits at the Yemeni choke point. The Kiwi dollar is down another 10 basis points from yesterday at just under 58.5 US cents. Against the Aussie, we're holding at 82.9 Australian cents. Against the euro, we've dipped 10 basis points at 50.7 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just under 62.1, which is also down 10 basis points from yesterday. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $63,141 and down 0.4% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has also been low, just on plus or minus 0.8%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again on Monday.